Okay, so we're looking at volumes of right pyramids and right cones. So first definition is of a uniform solid. So what is a uniform solid? It is a solid that if you take the cross section at any place in the entire height of the object, it will be the same shape. So the same rectangle, the same circle, same triangle, that kind of thing. So two examples of a uniform solid are a prism and a cylinder. So draw them below. So just going to quickly try my best at a rectangular prism. So something like this. Not so bad. Okay, and then a cylinder. So two sides the same, and then I'll just go to curved here. So then this will be a circle at the top and the same circle at the bottom. That was a little bit too wide there, but you get what I mean. Okay, and so if you were to take a slice, oh, that's not horizontal. Just a sec. If we were to take a, oh dear, if we take a slice like this, really it's going to end up being a circle, okay, and the same size circle as up top and the bottom, anywhere along there. Same thing, you can do a slice through here, it'll be a rectangle, okay. So how do you get the volume? You're going to take the area of the base and multiply it by the height, because basically you're filling in with a whole bunch of those areas. Here, a whole bunch of the circles. So that's going to be the area of the base times the height. Now, for a cylinder, the area of the base is always pi r squared. So that is always going to be the volume of a cylinder, where for a prism, it depends on what the base is. Could be a rectangle, whatever the base is, hexagon, that kind of thing. Okay, so here's some other diagrams for a rectangular prism and cylinder. So to calculate the volume, all we need to do is multiply the area of the base by the height, as I've just talked about. So we've really already done this. So area of a rectangle is length times width, okay, times the height. So length times width times height. Area of a circle, we've already done this, pi r squared, okay, times the height, so that's pi r squared times height. All right. Okay, so we've just reviewed those types of volume questions that you've already done before. Okay, so we're learning about pyramids today. So here is a pyramid here. It's a three-dimensional object with a base that is a polygon and sides that are triangles that meet at a point called the apex. If the apex is directly above the center of the base, then it's a right pyramid. Otherwise, it's oblique. So we're going to be sticking with these. Okay, so it's directly above the center. The base of a pyramid could be any polygon, such as a triangle, rectangle, pentagon, etc. So there are some examples. Now, a triangular-based pyramid actually has a special name. It's a tetrahedron, and you use that a lot in science for different shapes of molecules and stuff like that. Okay, so a right pyramid and right cone are shown below. Are they uniform? So if you try to draw a cross-section, so for example, if I try to do one here, it would be kind of look like this, right? This is kind of a weird angle, but it's a rectangular base, okay? And then if I try to do it up here, right? Oops, that's not very good. It's going to be a different shape. Same thing here. If I do a cross section there, that circle's different from this one. Okay, so are they uniform? No. Although these solids are not uniform, their volumes can still be calculated. So the volume of the right pyramid is related to the volume of a prism. Volume of cone is related to the volume of a cylinder. So I'm going to let you view the videos here. You can just click this. Actually, maybe, yeah, this is in your notes. So from the PDF that's in Schoology, you can click these icons here and it'll go to the videos for them. Okay. And so we're going to summarize them here. So from the first demonstration, the volume of a pyramid. So it's always going to be 1/3 the volume of the prism. Oh, I guess that's in words there, right? So 1/3 the volume of the prism with the same base, area, and height. So area of the prism, the volume of the prism is the area of the base of the prism times the height. So that capital A represents the area of the base. Okay. And so anything basically that meets at an apex is going to have a 1/3 in it. So the base of a pyramid could be any polygon. Okay, that's a many-sided shape. We tend to stick to more of pretty basic triangle, rectangle, maybe a hexagon. Volume of a cone is also 1/3 the volume of the cylinder with same base, area, and height. Okay, and so this one's nice because you can actually, it's always going to be the same, right? Because the base is always a circle. So 1/3 pi r squared times height. Okay, so recap the volume of a right pyramid and a right cone. So this is going to be volume equals 1/3 area of the base. We'll just leave the base part out because the definition is there, times the height. Okay, and volume of the cone is going to be 1/3. This one, the area of the base is pi r squared times the height. Now, if you wanted to show that as pi r squared h over 3, no problem. You go for it. Okay. Okay, next part here. So let's do some actual calculations. I'm just going to go to blue here. All right, so determine the volume of each figure, round to the nearest tenth. So you always have to make sure you have the vertical height, not a slant height. Slant height you need for surface area. So this is going to be area of the base, so 1/3 area of the base times the height. So 1/3, what is the base? It's a rectangle, so that's 8 times 15, and the height is 20. So 1 divided by 3 times 8 times 15 times 20 is 800. Okay, and centimeters cubed. Here, the radius is half the diameter, so that's 7. So this is going to be 1/3 pi r squared times height. So 1/3 pi times 7 squared times 24. Okay. So 1 divided by 3 times pi times 7 squared times 24. Okay, and nearest tenth. So this one's kind of a funny shape. If you take a look closely at it, you've got a 90-degree symbol there and a 90-degree there, and so it's kind of cut it into 3 90 degrees, which means it's 1/4 of a pyramid. So what is the base going to look like? Well, we've got this triangle here that's the base. So this is not a uniform pyramid on its own. It's a section of it. So if we look here at the base, it's a 90-degree triangle, so it makes sense. The hypotenuse is 5. Then this is 3 and this is 4. If we were to extend this out the other way, okay, then that would be 4, and this would be 3, and this would be 5. Okay, but it wouldn't be a square. They'd be the same side lengths. It would be a rhombus. And you can kind of tell that if I were to kind of expand this out. It's not great, but really not great, but in any case. So it would be a a quadrilateral as your base. It would be a rhombus, and so we need the area of it. So really what we can do, this is a right triangle here, so the base is going to be 4 of them. So when we get our volume, it's going to be 1/4, first of all, because it's a quarter of a pyramid. What is the area of a pyramid? It is 1/3 the area of the base times the height. So what's the area of the base? Well, that's going to be 4 triangles, where each triangle is 4 times 3 divided by 2. Okay, so close that bracket, close that bracket. I don't know, maybe I won't close that one. Then multiply by the height, which is 8. Okay, so that's kind of the big bracket there. So take a look. You could actually do this without a calculator, right? 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. And then 2 goes into 4 twice. So that's going to be 16 centimeters cubed. The diameter of an ice cream cone is 6 centimeters and the slant height is 10. So the diameter, that means the radius here is 6. Slant height is 10. It's the slanted height. So if we want to find the volume, we actually have to calculate this height here that meets at 90 degrees to the radius. So we're going to need to use the Pythagorean theorem. So h squared is the height. So that's going to be 10 squared minus 6 squared. And that works out nicely. H is going to be 8. Square root of 64 is 8. So volume is going to be 1/3 pi r squared times height, which is 1/3 pi times 6 squared times 8. Okay, so 1/3 pi times 36 times 8. Actually, just do this all at once. Okay, and I'm going to leave it as, I'm going to leave it in exact form. So sometimes we leave it as exact values. So that's going to be equal to 96 pi. If you did find the decimal form, it'd be 301.6. And that's going to be centimeters cubed. Okay, but this is the exact form. Didn't have to round anything. Then the base of a rectangular prism-based pyramid has dimensions 8 by 4 feet. Determine the height of the pyramid if its volume is 144. So we're working backwards, right? So volume of a pyramid, 1/3 area of the base times the height. So volume here is 144, so 1/3, and then it's a rectangle, which is 8 times 4, and we don't know what the height is. So now, just be careful, we're going to multiply both sides by 3, and then divide by 32, which is 8 times 4. Go back to blue. Okay, so 3 times 144 divided by 32. So 432 over 32 equals h, right? Because that divides out, this divides out here. And then reducing that is going to be 27 over 2, or 13.5, and this would be feet. Okay, so you're working backwards from that. And then last example, the volume of a cone is 300 centimeters cubed. If the height is 14, determine the radius of the base. So remember, volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared times height. Now we have 300 The radius is what we want to find. Oops, sorry. And the height is 14. So that's going to be 900. Sorry, I'm going to multiply through by 3. Show my work here. I'll do this in 2 steps. Okay, so that divides out. That's going to be 900. This is going to be 14 pi r squared. And so now I divide by 14 pi. You can do it all in 1 step. I'm just kind of doing it in 2 here. Now, the biggest thing people have with this is making sure that you calculate on your calculator 900 over 14 pi correctly. Now, just if you wanted to reduce that, that would be 450 over 7 pi. And r would be the root of that. Now, in your calculator, if you have the fraction key, then you can go, oops, not that. You can go alpha y equals fraction 900 over 14 pi. Okay, enter on that and then square root of that. If you don't, then you can go 900 divided by bracket 14 pi, or you can use the simplified form, but maybe it's better not to in case you simplified incorrectly, right? That, so you can see you're going to get the same answer. So that's going to equal 4.5, and what units is this? Centimeters. Okay, so that's a working backwards type question. And that's it.